welcome to my first video of Wes Anderson week. So I thought I'd do my first video review on Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is Wes Anderson's 2009 stop-motion comedy. I obviously can't give too much of the writing credits to Wes Anderson. He did write the screenplay, but the book itself that it's based on was written by Roald Dahl. The most interesting aspect of the story is the fact that it is absolutely ingrained in human nature despite all the characters being animals, and I love that. It blurs the lines between like us and animals and also makes for just a really accessible mode of storytelling. The human nature aspect of this film is only really emphasised by the voice actors, so obviously it's quite an all-star cast. You've got George Clooney, Bill Murray, Meryl Streep, Owen Wilson, all doing the voices of these characters. None of them put on this overacted, gimmicky sort of voice. It is just human voices, and that's, I think, a really important part of the storytelling. It makes it accessible and it makes it believable. It also kind of helps with the comedic tone of the film because, again, it's this idea that you're watching animals but they're acting like humans. So the film is a comedy, and comedy is ingrained into the fabric of this film. However, it's not like, I would say, a laugh out loud comedy. It's very subtle. The comedy comes mainly in the form of a slick and witty script. It's very to the point. As with many animations that are aimed at sort of a child audience, there are so many jokes in this film that are so subtle that they'd go over the children's head but make the parents laugh, and I think that's really important in getting people to watch this sort of film. And I think this is an example of how animation is more than just a children's medium. I think it's definitely a medium that's for everyone, and Fantastic Mr. Fox is kind of emblematic of that. This comedy that is aimed more at the adults comes as a result of sort of quick-witted one-liners and also a lot of intertextual references. I loved the Rebel Without a Cause reference in the film. If you haven't spotted that, definitely go back and watch the film and try and find it. In true Wes Anderson style, a lot of the comedy as well is visual comedy. Even in scenes when the characters aren't talking to one another or interacting in any way, there is still this subtle air of comedy throughout, through the visuals and the animation style. But like I say, as with any Wes Anderson film, Fantastic Mr. Fox is a real treat for your eyes. He is the master of style and visual pleasure. This film is an example of audio-visual storytelling at its finest, and what I mean by that is that it literally stimulates all your senses all the time, like constantly, and it's so engaging. If you ever feel like nothing's going on, just know that there's literally so many things for you to listen to, so many things for you to look at, all in just like a single shot or a single scene. Even when the characters are talking, in the background there are sound effects, like animal sound effects. I can't think of one noise that an animal makes right now. There's always a score to listen to. The score is so much fun, the soundtrack is so much fun. It's really playful and happy even when the story's taking a darker turn. And this combination of sort of visual and audio, I don't want to say overload, it's not like overwhelming, but it's fulfilling. Basically what I'm trying to say is this creates a really immersive experience. You are in each setting with the animals, even though I'm pretty confident most of us have not been in sort of like an underground burrow before, and it's a really fun journey because of that. And to make the film even more believable, Wes Anderson literally did not miss out on the minutest of details. The fur, oh my god, the fur of the foxes. Every scene the fur is blowing in the wind, and the fact that he did this with stop motion animation is insane. It shows an incredible amount of passion and commitment to the craft, and honestly it really works making the film more believable and engaging. You invest in the characters because they are familiar to our everyday life. Like, even though this is an animation film, there isn't that sort of distance between our reality and the reality of the film. Maybe my favourite aspect of the storytelling of the film anyway is Wes Anderson's cutaway style. So there's a few scenes in which, don't worry, no spoilers, in which the characters are doing a voiceover and the images you see on screen are sort of playing out the voiceover. And I think this is really fun because it's reminiscent of a children's picture book, and the fact the film is based on a novel, I think it's a really nice homage to Dahl's work. And it also acts as a way for the characters just to guide you through the film with ease. As I've already said, this is such an immersive experience visually, but at the same time Wes Anderson loves to take you out of the film when necessary to remind you that you are just a spectator sitting and watching the film at home, at the cinema, wherever you are. This is done by the sort of smooth camera movements that you see in the film. It takes you like this. This is the only way I can explain it. I feel like I'm sitting in a lift going up and down and watching what's in front of me, watching the view. And I think that works really well in taking you out of the film. It reminds you that, yeah, you're just a viewer. Wes Anderson's in control of what we see and what we don't see. We're not in the scene, we're out of it. The same can be said for the speed of the camera movement. It can simultaneously disorientate you and guide you through the film with ease. The speed of the motion on screen, be it the movement of the characters themselves or the camera movement, the speed changes with the severity of the action in the scene and acts as a way of portraying the characters' feelings and how you, as a viewer, should feel in each scene. And again, the playfulness of the proportions of the film. You'll be watching the foxes and they look like human size, they look like you, and then all of a sudden it will cut to a scene where they're tiny, 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 and there's like a big bowl of food, or there's a big human in the scene, and that works really well in taking you in and out of each scene. When Wes Anderson wants you to feel like you're in a scene, you will, and when he wants you to feel out of a scene, you will as well. And I think that's what's really, really fun about this film. The storytelling and the visuals come together so well to create an experience. It's not just something you sit and watch, it's something you experience, and that's really, really fun about this film. This film works on so many levels, and the fact that it's all done through stop motion animation is really, really admirable, because so much passion and dedication to the craft must have gone into this to create these effects that you as a viewer feel. And everything would have come from Wes Anderson's head. That's what's so great about animation, is that it is reminiscent of real life, but at the same time it is completely constructed in someone's mind. I really love this film. I would love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram or any of my social medias and we can have a chat about it. Thank you for watching. Alfie's fallen asleep and has been snoring. And my dad's just got home, so what perfect timing. Bye guys.